Hey, welcome to the show. I'm Yanni Rude.
And I'm just Harold. You ever been elsewhere and overheard two people having crazy conversations?
Yeah, well, we are those people. We've been having these conversations since college.
Yep, it's the Regular Guys Random Thoughts podcast. The Later Daters, Season 1, recap of episodes 5 through 8. Be sure to like, subscribe, rate, and leave a review.
Yep. Matter of fact, like Robin said, let's try something for the new year. When you enter the chat, hit the like button. Think of it as a greeting. Etiquette dictates that the one entering a room is supposed to speak first. You walk in the room, you say hello to everybody.
Yeah. You don't walk in someone's house, not say a word, just sit there in the corner quietly. Let people know you're there.
I've done that before. I ain't gonna lie, I've done that before. Walking, just slide in the corner and just watch, observe what's happening, what's going on. But Happy New Year, man.
Hey, Happy New Year to you. Happy Founders Day as well.
Thank you, sir.
In case you forgot.
Really, that's what we do.
Hey, I'm sorry. I'm on the brown liquor today. I had a friend of mine bought me a bottle of. He's from Tennessee, so he went to the Dickel distillery. So there's a brand called Dickel, and it's good stuff.
So you got some rich. It's too early. I see what you did. You did this early because you know I can't say anything too early. Otherwise, we get flagged, right? But you got some Richard for Christmas. I got you.
Yeah, got Dickel bourbon. It's really good stuff.
Sure.
So, and you know what happens when I'm on the brown liquor? Who knows what's going to come out of my mouth as we talk about these people? So, who knows?
Hey, shout out to CHM said I just discovered you both and don't really watch any of these shows, but I love your funny commentary. Subscribed. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
We love when we get these because usually it's the ones that go, "Why are you laughing?"
Y'all laugh too much. Yeah, we do.
Yeah, well, I mean, you don't laugh enough. So shout out to everybody checking in, man. As we wrap up the later daters, because, here's the thing. We've got a couple things coming up, right? Married at First Sight is going to return. And then also you've got Ready to Love that's coming up next month. I want to say on the 7th. And then on the 14th, Love is Blind drops. So we've got 2 more coming in next month. And at some point, we got to get back up with our random conversations, and I think we got a couple lined up already. So looking forward to doing that, too. A lot of great content coming forward in 2025. Glass half full. You ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
Oh, Jesus. This is going to be so bad. Okay, Debbie, look, hold on, man. Hold on.
What? She's not lying.
No, she misspelled some things. Wait, I actually caught her live. Well, all of our teams are out of the playoffs. Actually true. The Aints, the 40 Whiners as she goes, and the Cowgirls.
That's fine.
Yeah.
She can talk. It doesn't hurt my feelings.
It doesn't hurt my feelings either. That's why I said it the way it is. But at least label your team correctly, too.
Yeah, but as a Saints fan, it doesn't hurt my feelings. Say what you want. Say what you want about us. This is what makes us better than Cowboy fans because we don't get all butt hurt. Yeah. It's like, oh, well, I get to drink and watch the playoffs and watch other teams. Yeah. That's fine.
Besides, Cowboys fans are the only ones who every year, we're going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, this is our year. No.
Then by week 3, we need a new quarterback.
No, they always got one to get rid of the owner. Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones isn't going anywhere. And if I was Jerry Jones, I'd manage it the exact same way. He's not on the field messing up. That's the players.
Hey, Messi and Zesty says Cowboys have fans. Speaking of Jerry Jones, I was watching what's that thing called Landman, right? And they said Jerry's in there with him right now. I'm like, it can't be. I'll be damned. It was Jerry Jones. But I will say the story he gave, which was obviously all about the Cowboys and him and his family and all this, but the story he gave was actually pretty good. I'm sure it was because the way Taylor Sheridan does stuff, he gets a lot of true stories in there.
Yeah.
It was pretty dope. I will say that.
Yeah. Tyler Sheridan's blowing up. He's trying to get all his money real quick.
I'm about to go buy some of those steaks from the 4 Sixes Ranch. So he's getting it all. All right, let's get into this, man, because we got 4 episodes to cover here. Episodes 5, 6, 7, and 8 as we get to the finale of this. And I like the way they wrapped this up with episode 8. They kind of gave us almost it's the individual reunion, right? And just a follow-up. Hey, where are they now? The episode is basically what it was. But what we're going to do, we're going to cover just by each person. So we'll start off with Suzanne.
Yeah.
The Southern Belle. she's thinking things are moving too fast with Avery. She wants to slow things down. Is this a good move or not?
Well, it depends. Like, what's moving too fast? That's what I don't understand. What is he doing that made her feel like this is moving too fast? Is it because, like, wow, I'm really starting to like somebody faster than I'm used to, so maybe that's the issue? Or was it the fact that he brought up threesomes and that kind of freaked her out? I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't understand it. I really want to know what the conversation was before. Did she say something with the number 3? Was there a 3 everywhere that he looked, and he was just like, so about this threesome thing? I want to know what happened.
Yeah, I don't know, but I just don't understand what made it go too fast for her. But she felt that she needed to put the brakes on it, which to me it seemed like she was ending it instead of just saying, "Hey, let's slow it down. Instead of seeing you tomorrow, I'm gonna wait a week or something." But she completely ended it, which I think that was a mistake.
Right. Well, Kessie says Avery wanted to smack them cheeks. Maybe she wanted to wait a couple more dates. And Tina says it was the young kid in Bama. Yes, his kid was younger than Frank's kid because Frank had a 16-year-old. Avery has a 14-year-old. So, that's part of what it is, right? Well, she goes on a date with a new guy. What'd you think of Jeff? Looking like the former quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons, Jeff George.
I mean, Jeff just looked like any other guy. I mean, it seemed interesting. He's been divorced twice, been single for 10 years and has 3 kids. He fit the fact that he's the Silver Fox and that he's a Georgia fan, Georgia Bulldog fan. So win-win for her, but I just didn't really feel the chemistry between the two.
It just, you could tell that immediately with them too, because she's like, well, he doesn't talk as much. Because that's one of the things that Avery had that conversation flowing, but they had chemistry. We saw from the get-go that with Avery there was a lot of fun, a lot of chemistry, and I think that's part of what it is. And Dorica even says it. I think she wanted to step back from Avery because it was more fun. She probably wanted to see if there was more substance. And did she find more substance with Jeff? Because it almost feels like that's what she was trying to say, but I didn't see any. Did you?
I really just didn't get a whole big connection out of the two. Now, the part that they did click on is that he had retired, went back to work, and so did she. But then also he lived in Italy. And so they have that international connection. Right. And when she said that, her family moved to Saudi Arabia, he was like, I speak some Arabic.
I know, right?
So
I'm like, damn.
I thought that was exciting, for those two. But what did you think, like, when her daughter shows up, and he points out the matching tattoos of the thumbprint of their dad, of her husband.
In a Georgia ticket?
On a Georgia Bulldog ticket. That just seemed weird to me. Not that it's bad. It's just in a first date situation with somebody, and I get it, you have a past. It just seemed interesting.
Okay, here's what this is where, because you pointed out a lot of things there that I kind of overlooked. In Italy, the being able to speak Farsi, and if she had said, well, I actually went to China before and I speak Mandarin. He would have probably dropped some Mandarin on her too, because he seemed to have an answer for everything she tried to throw at him. Jeff was ready. Jeff was ready and Jeff was observant. What do women always want from a man to be is observant. He was observant. He goes, wait, y'all have matching tattoos. Now, either that or his eyes were focused on their chest too much and he happened to catch the tattoo on the way down. So
he saw hers. He saw Suzanne's. I know that.
Yeah.
And then once the daughter showed up, he's like, oh, I get it now. Matching tattoos. What's the story?
Yeah. So, and I like the story they gave, and I think it was really cool. And the interesting thing is that they both have. I like the dynamic that Suzanne has with her daughter. Right? They get along very well. I know you think it's kind of weird for the daughter to keep meeting all her dates on the first date, but Suzanne is like, look, I like my drinks, and I like to get home. Baby, come pick me up because I'm not paying the driver.
I think Suzanne is smart because what she's doing is like, my daughter's single. There's no ring on her finger. Come on this TV show with me. And get you a lot of FaceTime so you can get some people to slide in your DMs and sending you, eggplant emojis. Like, that's what she's doing. And I'm like, well played, Suzanne. Well played.
Even though Kessie said, I wish the daughter would wait in the car, low key. Nah, get on this camera. They're going to see my house. They need to know where they're going to come hang out for the Georgia Bulldogs game and tailgate.
Exactly. So that was strategic on Suzanne's part. I'm like, I get it. Try to get your daughter married off. Smart,
yeah. Well, look, they get a second. She opens up and gets a second date. And I don't know if you know, but no, I know you noticed this because you are so big into fashion and the finer details. What did you think of Jeff's shoes as he was walking to the boat?
They're what you would wear to go fishing or go on the boat.
Oh,
and at least
fishing.
he took them off.
Yeah,
he took them off.
Though, yeah,
yeah, you're getting the boat with it. But I was like, hey, right on, Jeff. You look relaxed. Totally fine. But again, to me, it was a boring date.
It was great friendship vibes with a peck at the end.
Yeah, great friendship on the boat. She's kind of driving it, and great. She gets to do her toast again, and all that stuff at some point. But I thought it was really a boring date.
Yeah, it really was. But unless you are in your 20s, when you get on a boat on the river, it's not supposed to be tops off party. It's, hey, enjoy the vibes. Take it in. It was the last boat ride of the season. Just enjoy the vibe. Just sit back, relax. They had the Tito's for the placement right there. You noticed that? They had the placement right there just to show you exactly what it is. But yeah, it was kind of boring, but it's supposed to be. By the way, I cannot watch quietly. Says, any comments about Jeff's legs? I didn't look.
I don't have any comments about his legs. I mean, what do you have to say about him? I mean, what am I going to say to...
By the way, I already know the one person in the chat I could never watch anything with, and that's I cannot watch quietly. Because I can't do it. Like if my wife does that when I watch, hey, you know they can't hear you, right? By the way, I cannot watch quietly. Says very soft skin.
How did you see that?
Right?
Through the TV that the skin was super soft. I don't understand.
Was it moisturized? Was it unashy?
You really zoomed in. Oh, now.
Hey, Dorica's asking the same thing. Were his legs shaved or something? Like what? Dita says supple. By the way, Happy Gardner says, my third date with my husband was going on his family's boat. It's a test. I need to understand what that test is. What's the test? Do you get boat sick? Here's the...
Do you act like you've been there before? Are you too excited?
Right.
It's like, ooh, look over here. Ooh, look over here. On each side of the boat.
I just get bored. But I don't understand. But here's the thing. It makes sense that Suzanne likes boats because she hates golf.
Yeah.
And you're either a boat, your boat, or it's like your hours out on the boat, your hours on the golf course, right? But it's two completely different. You can do both. Definitely not in the same day. But it's two different lifestyles and two different things.
You can go off a tea time at 6 a.m., be done by 9:30, 10 o'clock, get on the boat at 12.
I can tell you haven't played in a while because I know you definitely not playing no 3.5 round of golf.
You can play a 3.5 round
you
of golf.
You can, not at 6 in the morning unless you're the first one out. And if you're actually hitting the ball
but
well,
it's possible.
Can. But you're not.
It's possible. Even if you get on the boat at 3 in the afternoon. Okay. You get on the boat at 3 o'clock in the afternoon and you come back at 7. That doesn't make any sense what you're saying.
I don't like those 4 hours on the boat.
Just say you don't like being on a boat. It's not like it's a wrong thing. You just couldn't do it.
No, but it makes sense. There are a lot of people who do one or the other.
Disagree, sir.
No, they are.
A lot of people know that play golf have boats.
Yeah, I'm not saying that you can't do both. I'm just saying it makes sense for me that when she's like, yeah, she doesn't like that. She likes this. That's all. Jesus Christ.
No, Terrell.
No, you're definitely neither.
We might look alike, but no.
You know what? We're gonna mute you quick with that brown liquor. Let's get through this faster. Avery's back. This is gonna be one of those days. Oh. And he calls Suzanne, right? And I kind of figured he was going to come back at some point. Had to, right?
Yeah.
And I like how he stopped her early on to say, hey, what turned you off? Feels like something you would do.
100% would do that. I've dated people where we go on a few dates and they say, hey, I met someone else that I have more of a connection with. I'm like, hey, good luck. And then a month later they reach back out and then they want to like pick up where we left off. My first question is, hey, before we do all that, what was it about me? Because I haven't changed in the last month. So what made you not interested or what turned you off? So I think it's smart that Avery did that because I would want to know.
Yeah. And I like the fact that because as she's tried to go into the regular laughing, joking, he's like, no. Let's get serious for a second. Let me make sure this conversation is going the way we need it to, right? And then you see that now that they've decided to go, they've been going for like 2 months as we get to wrap up for them and their finale. Find out like, hey, they've been dating and it seems good, right?
Yeah, it
I
does.
like these
and
two
the daughter
together.
likes him. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, I think he's a good fit for them. So I'd be curious if I noticed there's no reunion. Mm-hmm. So I'm just curious to see where they're at now. But I thought they had a great ending.
Mm-hmm. I like them. I think this is great. If we ever have a follow-up, we'll find out about them. Let's see. Next up was your twin, Nate. And the producers asked the question that we're wondering, when is somebody going to ask this? Hey, why aren't you and Jackie together?
Yeah. I was curious about myself, and their answer that they gave is that they just feel they're not compatible. I don't buy it. I think if Nate said, hey, Jackie, why don't we do this? Let's get together. I think Jackie would be down, in my opinion.
You think? Okay. We know that they've had their fling in the past. They've raised a child together. They've got grandbabies, not even just a grandchild. They got grandbabies.
Right.
And Messi Zest says their answer did not compute. I felt like it was like, she knows. Jackie knows. And I get what you're saying. You think like she'll be down for it. But I think she's like, nah, I could deal with him like this, but I can't deal with him in a relationship. I think she knows that. Maybe when they were younger, she would have wanted that, but not anymore. Mm-mm.
I think she knows that he wouldn't do it. But if he said, hey, you know what? I've been thinking about it. You're someone very important in my life, yada, yada, yada. She would totally give it a shot. It makes sense.
Okay, so Ravine says in a sec she would go with Nate. Kessie says those two are 100% hunching right now. I don't doubt that either. I don't think they ever stopped. Hey, when you gotta go, hey, I gotta go see the baby mama real quick. Dina says Jackie showed the world that Nate is hers by eating off of his plate.
Is that what that means?
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that was a territory marking thing. I've had people eat off my plate. I didn't think it was.
Well, at least it's just eating off the plate and not, cocking a leg up and pissing on it. Like most people mark territory.
That's how most people mark dogs. Animals mark territory.
Hey, there's a dog-loving crew in the live chat. They always try to get on me about it. I'm just saying. There's a reason why I don't like dogs. I'm just saying. Jeez.
Wow.
And Sedan's fan says they're together. I don't care what they say. And you know what? They do look good together, but I like how she has been throughout this entire process.
Yeah.
And before he goes, Nate, on his next date, which is the fourth date, he had some interesting words with Logan, though.
He did, because Logan realized that Nate is she called it maximizer date. He has maximizer dating tendencies. Mm-hmm. He suffers from unrealistic expectations, and that he thinks that she can take all the good qualities from all the people that he's met. And I like how she said this, and Frankenstein them into this perfect person. And I think that a lot of people do that in dating, whether you're a younger dater or a later dater. Mm-hmm. You go on a few dates and you like certain things about certain people, and you wish you can just mold them into this one person. Mm-hmm. And that's not reality.
It's... I'm sorry. I was just in here and I saw this. I got to say this just real quick because people are just nuts on this part. Between YG horses, between Nate's back and knees, he ain't blowing no back.
Wow.
And somebody say, can Nate hunch? Stop it. Leave that man alone. Because
let that man, hey, that's a veteran we're talking about. You let that brother alone.
Yes, sir. Because I would tell you what about Nate. Nate has his stuff together at the point when he goes and he is ready to go, right? So he gets this date with Michelle, who is 55 and wants someone who can last longer than 60 seconds. I wonder if 61 counts. But
well, it does. It's more than 60.
Technically.
We got a match.
She shows up and Nate is so distracted by her beauty that he forgot the flowers. He has to hold up, wait 30 seconds, I'll be right back. She starts counting. He's like, hold up now, slow down. I got to get over here first. But I like that he did that.
I thought there was some a little chink in the armor of his game.
Why?
Right there. Like, just hey, you know what? I forgot. I'll be right back. Go get the flowers. Don't make it wait 30 seconds. Like all that extra. It's not necessary. You just got her some flowers. It's not that big a deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. Did I say that wrong? Chocolate strudel. Wait, did I say 30 minutes? I'm glad you caught it and not Terrell. Thank God. I don't like how he started off the date when they sat down, though, because he's like, oh, I don't even know what to say. And I always think that's just an awkward thing to say when you're on a first date with somebody. Oh, I don't know what to say. That just set.
Right.
Luckily, it didn't mess up the rest of the date, but that's awkward. Or
Right.
am I wrong?
No. You're right. I mean, I think you should, if you're on a blind date, you should already have some things to say. This is not your first. So you should know what to ask. And so eventually he gets his groove, and they talk about their military service, and she asks, why is he single? And he said he hasn't met his match yet, which to me, ladies, that's red flag. If he's 56 and he says he hasn't met his match, that's something I've never said. Let me just clarify. I'm 50, and not once have I said, why are you single, Terrell? Well, I've never met my match. No, that's not the case.
She Likes Tweet said, Nate self-deprecates too much. It's a turn-off. Messy and Zesty points out something that I didn't even think I noticed, that Nate and Dwight were the only men with flowers for dates. Did you notice that? No, because Frank had flowers.
Yeah, Frank had
With Suzanne.
flowers with Suzanne. Dwight had flowers. Did Robert have flowers for Pam? I don't recall. Could be.
No, Robert had his running shoes on. That's what he had. So look, here's the thing though. You talk about the military service that Michelle and Nate shared. Then she told us about her test taking skills. And I'm assuming that she's talking about the ASVAB, right? And she went CAB, 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 CAB. I'm going to sleep.
I just don't buy that. I mean, I hope that that's not true, that you put in some type of effort.
I know some people do.
Because if you didn't put any effort, that tells me that you can just go CAB, CAB the whole way through, and you could either be a mortician, which would pay a lot of money if you get out of the military, or you go in food service, be a mechanic, or drive a truck. I'm like, so what's the criteria for being a mechanic then?
Now I'm really second guessing who's fixing my car.
Yeah. It's like it makes it sound like they're a caveman. Here, wrench, hit nugget, hammer, make noise. Like, come on. I'm sure she put in more effort than just going CAB all the way down. I just don't buy that.
Nate calls Michelle an intelligent fireball. Do you see that?
I don't see, and I'm not saying she's not. Let me just preface that. There was nothing that I saw in the date that made me think that she's this intelligent fireball. I mean, could she be a fireball to Nate? Sure. To me, I wasn't thinking fireball.
I agree with YG Hall here. It says you could tell Michelle didn't really like him. She came with big friend energy. That's what it gave me. It gave off friend energy, right? Did you see that?
You thought so? I think I don't know if their date gave off friend energy. I think she was just trying to feel it out. Because to me, she seemed interested in getting to know more. I think there's a difference of going on a date and you're just like, okay, this is a date, one and done, compared to I'm interested in getting to know more. I'm not sure if I'm interested in you romantically, but I am interested in wanting to know more. I think that's fair.
Right. So after this date, Nate's with Jackie. And this is, follow along here. So Nate's with Jackie, and he said he really liked Michelle's da-da-da energy.
To Nate, maybe that's a big deal to him. I don't know. You know, Nate and I we are not the same. Let's just clarify that. We are not the same. And so I think what Nate looks for and Nate's energy is different. And one of the things that at this point that I don't like about Nate, I feel like Nate's whole identity is that he's in a fraternity. You know what I mean? It's like when you first pledge and you're excited, you wear paraphernalia every day. That's all you talk about. I'm like, you are too old to be this person, that this is your identity, is that you're in this organization. It's a great organization, not knocking it, but I feel like he's too old to make that his identity. And I feel like throughout this show, that's what he's done.
Is it the apron that did it for you?
Is it what?
The apron that he had on, is that what did it for you?
It's all of it. The apron, the pin, we get it. You're in a fraternity. We get it. But there's more to you than that. Now, if your whole purpose is to only date a woman that's in a sorority and that's all y'all can bond on, hey, great. and she's in the Divine Nine sorority, great. Because if you date, an AO Pi, she don't give a darn about any of that at that age. In the 50s,
Which 90% of the chat went, who?
Yeah, but I'm just like,
he's too old to have a frat room. Toya says you are right. Terrell Leah says I agree. See, I'm not even gonna message you, Ravine. I'm not even gonna say that one out loud. I'm gonna leave that alone. See, you're wrong.
Wow, that's not nice. But I'm just saying, it's like I feel like that's his big identity, and I think that's also one of the issues with him when trying to date. Because I'm like, what else do you bring to the table besides purple and gold stuff?
Dina says, I know many guys who lead with their fraternities, and it's such a turn off. Happy Garden says, y'all being shady to Q's, but I don't blame you.
I'm not shading anybody, but I've not once in my dating life has anybody been impressed that I was an alpha. Even in my college days, nobody's like, oh my goodness, that never happened. Ever. If it did, I would lead with that a lot more often. It didn't happen because my other fraternity brothers, my LBs, were taller than me. They were taller, bigger. They liked them. Didn't matter what I had to say. So I just find that guys in their 50s and 60s, that's all they talk about. I feel like that's just not a good look.
Come on, we knew that was the case. They always showed up on campus anyway. So,
still at the parties in the club.
Still hopping on campus at homecoming. So the daughter, Jasmine, and the grandkids come over. And you notice that Nate can't remember anyone's name. He can't get anybody's name right except Lisa, and the Cult Jam, and Michelle.
Because those are easy, basic. He couldn't. Anise was complicated, and apparently Latricia, there was no hope in her figuring that one out.
Well, he has to make a decision because remember his whole thing was he was going to go through all the dates and then make a decision. He makes a decision, and did he pick the person you thought he was going to pick?
Yes. I think he did because I knew that it would have been Latricia didn't have a chance. Mm-hmm. Anise definitely didn't have a chance. Mm-hmm. So I figured it'd be between Lisa and Michelle. But the fact that Lisa has two kids that are still, two grown people living with her.
They're her kids regardless. They're still her kids.
Two grown people living with her. Nate was done. Now, I've heard on I think I heard online that Lisa was on a podcast and she said that her kids lived in one of the houses that she owns. They don't live with her. Mm-hmm. I call BS because why would you even say that then?
Right.
If you have a property you own and your kids live it, don't say they live with you. They live in your property.
Hey, that's called a cleanup. Clean up on aisle 5. We need to go ahead and fix this, what I said in episode 4.
Yeah, no, your kids still live with you, and you let them do that. Nate wasn't having it. Mm-hmm. So I knew it was going to be Michelle.
Mm-hmm. Now, so Michelle, they go to a comedy show, and I was genuinely surprised because he was so enamored with Lisa. I get your point on the kids, but he liked her. So I thought that would have been it. But we start to see the cracks in the foundation when they go outside to eat, right? Because the first one is Nate is allergic to seafood and Michelle is pescatarian.
Yeah, but I think the fact that Michelle got a pizza with shrimp on it, I couldn't date her after that point. Add that to the list if you want. I'm sorry. You get a pizza with shrimp, a shrimp pizza? Get out of here. I'm sorry. Get out of here with the shrimp pizza. I'm sorry. That's disgusting. Be a pescatarian all you want. Oh my Get a pesto
Seriously?
pizza, margarita pizza, all that. Doesn't have any meat on it. But you're getting a pizza with shrimp on it, I can't. Sorry.
You would, damn. Okay, how about this?
Judge me if you want. Add it to the list. I don't give a damn.
Oh, there's definitely judgment. There's definitely judgment. Then the other thing that came up was the fact that he was a little too rigid with needing things in the right place for Michelle's liking. I knew this was bad.
A little too rigid. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's very rigid. Like this is why I say that we are not the same. Mm-hmm. Is my place clean and immaculate and spotless? Yes. Mm-hmm. But if somebody came over and sidebar, real quick. I totally get where Michelle's coming from because I did this once when I was living in Lincoln, Nebraska. Had someone over, we were eating burgers and fries and stuff, and she spilled some of her, it was like truffle fries or some spilled on the floor. Mm-hmm. I could have just easily left it, but I got up and got a vacuum cleaner and like vacuumed around her feet while she was doing, and that's when I realized, okay, Tara, you got to let it go. It's not that big a deal. And I think Nate is the same way. He's got to let some stuff go, and he's not willing to. And when Michelle kept trying to understand, and she's like, well, what if I do this? Mm-hmm. He's like, well, that's fine. That's at your house. That's where he's losing her.
That's where he's losing, and where Lady J goes, Nate totally ruined that last date. Absolutely, because like Mrs. Ward said, Nate is absolutely undateable. Everything was cool, and then he just kind of, that was it. It was done. He gets with Jackie after and said Michelle doesn't mind a cluttered home, so she's not for him. Then he makes this other statement about women dating now, right? He's like, women are just so ready to move in when they find someone halfway decent. Is that true?
No, that's just his bitterness.
Yeah.
Is what he's just trying to say. He's not owning anything that he's not owning that it's him. He's the reason why he's single. Don't try to say women do this and whatever. Just say you're the problem. And that's why you should go with Jackie, who's willing to accept all of your BS.
Which, okay, so that does make me ask this question. Do you think he should give Jackie a shot? Because he also reached out to Lisa. Here's the interesting thing. Obviously, he reached out to Lisa after he realized Michelle likes a messy home. I can't do that. So let me see what Lisa and these kids at home do. These grown-ass kids at home. And she's like, no, I'm already in a relationship. I'm messing around.
Good for Lisa. She's like, no, you had your chance. I was interested, and you blew me off because I have 2 kids that live in either my home or one of my properties, whatever she wants to tell the world. I don't blame her for saying, no, I'm good.
Yeah. No, facts. By the way, just before we move off of Nate, Lucy B says, hey, Terrell, you vacuumed her feet. You ruined her chance of getting married.
No, I told her to lift her feet up so I could vacuum under it. That's what I did.
Smart move. That was a slick move to get her to lift her feet up.
Yeah, lift your feet up. And she looked at me like, what the hell? And I was just like, well, because
Put your legs on my shoulder while I vacuum. Go ahead.
I just feel like all this salt and crumbs, you're going to spread it around the house if I don't vacuum it up now. Let me just pick it up. But the reality, I could have just let it go. And I've learned that you got to let some stuff go. Yeah.
By the way, she likes to tweet, says, Terrell is on a shrimp pizza soapbox. Who knew? Lucy B also did say shrimp Alfredo pizza is delicious.
Sorry, Lucy B, you're wrong.
Ravine says, what about crab meat, Terrell?
What about crab meat? None of that goes on a pizza. No, none of that goes on a pizza. I'm sorry.
And so
you eat a
Dina
pie
says,
the way it's supposed to be
updating
eaten.
Terrell's Excel file right now.
Yes, add
and
that.
Cassie
Add
says,
that. That's fine.
"Whew, the list gets longer every
I'll stand 10
line."
toes down on not putting shrimp and crab on pizza. Sorry.
As long as they're not little feet like Nate's. That's what people are saying in the live chat. I didn't notice that. See, women.
Yeah. Sorry, you don't put shrimp and crab on pizza. That's just not what you get. Go to a seafood place if that's what you want. Go get crab legs. But don't tell me you want a
pineapple
pizza
on there, but people think I'm crazy.
I get the sweet and savory. I totally get that. Shrimp, crab meat on pizza? No.
Oh my God. Too picky. Too picky. And the list gets longer. All right, let's move on, man. Miss Anise. So Dwayne was like, look, I'm tired of hearing about these terrible dates. Let me pick the next one. So she picks Big Willie, who, when Anise shows up, she's like, marry me. Immediately. You can tell she because even when she's telling Logan about it, she goes, and I let out a sound. Oh. When she hugged him, I'm like, Jesus, Anise. Pick your jaw up off the ground.
I'm sorry, man. When I meet brothers named Willie, I just can't say Willie. I'm like, Willie! Like, I feel you got to say it with an accent. Willie! It's my friend Willie!
Oh, my God. This was interesting to watch with these two, man, because she liked him so much.
Yeah.
That she forgave him every time. And I'm sure they didn't show all the times that he called her Anise Patrice.
Anise Patrice. It rhymed.
She's like,
maybe
Patricia.
that's where he was going. She's like, no, Patricia, I can let it slide.
Patricia.
Look at that beard. What'd you call me? God, the beard's sexy. I'm good. Oh, look at the fedora. Okay, you know what? You called me by the wrong name again. I'll let it slide. Now you called me Janice on my first name. You know what? I'm going to let it slide. I'm going to let it slide.
Yo, and Dorica, I said this too, acted like a teenager. Dina, I said this as well too. She just wanted an attractive silver fox who can't talk, because there are things that he said. She gave up so much stuff, right? Like, here's the thing. He is smooth, but he didn't have a whole lot to do, because she was making up stuff like, oh, you're trying to read me. You're deep, I can tell. And I'm like, not really. I like their energy together. I think they acted like teenagers, but it's just kind of.
Yeah. Willie was so deep. I'm sorry. There was nothing about the conversation that we heard that made me think that Willie is this deep Jedi kind of person. I'm not saying that he's not. There's nothing, not a slight in his intelligence.
Right.
It's just the fact that she was excited that he's trying to ask her questions and get to know her. I'm like, don't you have a doctorate though that you keep talking about? So wouldn't you want somebody to ask you this stuff?
Well, she's not thinking about that right now. She's a little enamored with the beard. She really is. I like his genuine surprise at the fact that Anise was 62. I mean, he did kind of run game and trying to say, she looked like she was 21. I mean, he said 50, but yeah, what he was doing.
Yeah, I get what he was doing. You're never going to be like, tell a woman, yeah, you look 62. I see it. Like, you're not going to say that.
Actually, I've said that before.
Well, but you weren't trying to date her. You were calling somebody out. You were being Yanni rude when you did that. But if you're trying to date somebody, you're not going to be like, yeah, I could totally see that. You do look not a day past 62. But
Now, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say what I liked about her is that she asked him about places he's traveled to. And the whole time I'm like, Willie, please don't tell me about your trip to Memphis and going to Beale Street. Please don't say that's your favorite trip. And he talks about
New
Africa.
Orleans. Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I like that. She was testing him to see if he likes international travel. And he passed.
Welcome home, brother.
Which I'm like, they taught her that in Africa? Or is that, Jamaica? It sounds like St. Kitts.
Which Ravine says all this cuteness is going to get old to Anise if Willie has no substance. She's going to enjoy the ride in the meantime, right?
I think Willie does have substance.
Yeah.
I totally think he does.
And by the way, Dina does say, I was thinking he would say Jamaica. But no, he said Joburg. So, got to give him his props on that. Now, when Anise went to go meet with Duana, and this is why we labeled had the thumbnail when she said the shiver me tenders.
Yeah.
Anise needs to watch some pirate movies with the closed caption on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hold on. She has a doctorate.
Stop it.
She's super.
Stop it.
She's CAT smart.
Stop it.
I'm just saying that I don't understand where she keeps coming from. And she keeps throwing that whole doctorate out there because she did it to Willie on the date too, and every date she's been on. But when you say something like "shiver me tenders," yeah, sorry.
What do you think about the FaceTime that they had? Because Willie's smooth, man. The fedora with the matching tie.
I think for women that like fedoras, that's great. But think of it this way: if I met a woman and every time we talked, she had a hat and an outfit that matched, and they were always different, I'd lose interest.
Really?
I would lose interest. I'd be like, Jesus.
She met with Logan and showed the picture of Willie, and you know what? It's one of those things. She says this is the picture that that Duana saw, but the one Duana showed us first. They showed us was Willie just with his up to his neck in the pool, right? But they showed when Willie's out of the pool, Willie got the 6-pack going.
Right. Willie's fit. Willie's a fit, good-looking dude, and that matches her energy. So I think that's great. Almost said vibe, and I hate that. So I'm glad I did it. But did you notice when Anise says that she likes Willie, but now she thinks that he's so attractive that he may think it's a candy store and wants to try all the candies? That sounds like somebody who's been cheated on.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. And it shows that she's there. She doesn't think, I don't think she thinks this is a long term. And she's just like, all right, let me enjoy this while I can.
I don't know. I just think that he's so attractive that she's just expecting him to cheat on her, is what it is. Which I think that's her problem, not a Willie problem. But she's just expecting it.
Well, according to the 5 kids that keep popping up in the live chat, it may be a Willie problem too.
The 5 kids.
Yeah, he's got 5 kids. I mean, but hey, one for every decade. There's nothing wrong with that. All right. They go hiking, and at least Willie finally got her name right. He stopped calling her Anise Patrice. He got her middle name right. But did you notice that Anise initially told Willie her name meant one thing, right? And I don't remember what it was, but she gave some meaning to what, when they first on the first date. Oh, it means this, and now she's using what Bill said to her, and says she told Willie that Anise, Anise means spice. I'm like, wait a minute,
No.
there's a correction there.
What Bill told her is Anise is a spice, but she has a doctorate, so she knows more than what I know. I'm wrong. I'm wrong because she has a doctorate, and so she's smarter than every guy that she's ever dated. So she knows better than I would. Cheers.
Willie can't wait for them cameras to get away. He put on the moves on her. It was, Willie showed up and did what was supposed to be done. And it's even when Anise asked him, when you looked into my eyes, what did you see? I didn't think that he was going to say, as long as he didn't say anything like, I ain't see shit, she was going to be fine with it. Because she's so enamored with Willie. It didn't matter what he said. I don't think his answer was that profound. I can see through the layers of your soul. Nothing. Nothing poetic. He was like, I see you.
It was, I just, you. That's what I see. I see your face. So you didn't boop her on the nose. Boop, boop. I see you. But hey, I like this couple. I really think this is a good match. I'm happy for Anise. I'm happy for Willie, and I think they are both perfect for each other so far from what I've seen.
The fact that they are giddy and giggly like teenagers,
right?
Because it's one of those, and even the producer was like, "Man, y'all are just like giggly," and like, yeah, and that's good.
Yeah.
The question becomes, how long does it last? To see somebody in the live chat saying they broke up 6 months later, not surprising. Because
I don't know if they did.
I don't know if they did or not. But if that actually did happen, then it's not surprising. But that's that. It's like the summer romance, right? But just having to go through the fall too.
Well, I mean, here's my take on it. I don't care whether it lasts 6 months or 6 years. It's better to have loved and lost than never have loved at all. And there's nothing more exciting than that feeling of just being so enamored with somebody and all that chemistry and all the butterflies. That's exciting. And so if it didn't work out, it didn't work out. And it could be for varied reasons that we don't know.
Right.
So I'm happy that they tried it. I think from what I saw in the show, I thought they were a good fit, but other things maybe happened that made them break up.
Yeah.
But I think it's great that they got a chance to feel that.
And have some fun, like Ravine says. Have some fun. It doesn't mean because you're a later dater that you it's gotta be marriage, right? No,
right. It's all or nothing. No, it doesn't mean that. Just hey, I had a great moment with somebody and we connected. It was beautiful, and then it just didn't work out. That's totally okay.
As long as you have fun along the way. All right, let's move on to our next later dater, Lori.
Ugh.
Auntie Lori, stop it. What
Yeah.
is wrong with you?
What? I'm like, yeah, let's talk about Lori. She's awesome.
Damn, what is wrong with you,
Sorry.
man?
Cheers.
All right, we gotta ban you from having this brown liquor. So Lori is speaking with Kennedy and it says Ty gave her Sidney Poitier vibes, right? And she loved that Ty was willing to pay for her pedicures. She ain't like him, but she was ready for him to pay for them pedicures.
Yeah. She didn't like the white T-shirt that Mr. Tibbs was wearing, so I get it. She didn't like that white T-shirt from Mr. Tibbs. But, I mean, she liked the whole foot fetish and he's willing to pay for it, but she brings up the whole white T-shirt like that was the big deal. Yeah. And then she doesn't want to chase a man. And I'm like, that's not true today. I think it's okay to chase and say that you're interested in somebody. There's nothing wrong with that.
Oh, is it chasing just because to show interest? That's the problem.
No.
And that was the coy, catty behavior that Suzanne was doing, that Lori's doing. That's to show interest. Like the days of, well, you can't call for 3 days. Man, nah, people moving too fast. I mean, how many times have you gone on a date and gone on another date right after? The people who have done that. And especially people who are on dating apps, they do that. They go, all right, this weekend I'm getting 6 dates in. Let's go. And
then like brunch date, dinner date, 2 separate people, same day.
Yeah, see, I'm the old school dater. I don't do that. So that was never the case. Like, I can't do all that. By the way, Robin says, Terrell, you reacted to Lori as if she had braids.
No.
The same way Lori reacts to those white shirts on top.
Yeah, no, I just reacted to Lori the same energy that she gave out. I just was like, I don't get it.
Now, she met with Logan and she said that she doesn't want to build a man. What was that all about?
Well, so Logan's point was to say, hey, look, I get it. You don't like the white T-shirt. Okay, you're stylish. Mm-hmm. What if you taught him? Or you can show him. She's like, nope, I don't want to do that. I don't want to build a man. I don't want to fix a man. I want to change a man. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's her negative. You know, a white T-shirt. If that's all she had to say bad about him, which it was, there was nothing else that she said other than the fact that they met before on a dating app, and he stopped talking to her. Well, now we see why.
Like Kessie says, I agree that the shirt is ugly, but she could just say she doesn't like him.
Exactly. That had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, it's most women want to change a man. She doesn't want to change a man, but she doesn't. It's not about change. She doesn't want to build a man. So she feels it comes off like she thinks he's beneath her. Yeah, they don't have the same interest. He wants to go bird watching. She's like, no, of course not. Take me to somebody's party, but where I can interview somebody. But say that as opposed to you don't want to build a man, because it really comes off as if she's looking down her nose at him.
I don't know. I didn't get that vibe that she's looking down her nose at him. It's just, I said vibe because I'm talking about Lori. I didn't get that. I just think that for whatever reason, she's not interested in him, and she's trying to find the littlest things that she can bring up. Now, I'm noticing people in the chat are saying, like, what organization is Lori in? Is she an AKA or something?
I believe so. Yeah, I did see that too.
Did you? Oh, I didn't know she was. Doesn't make it any better. I'm just saying that she's still a problem.
Dina says Lori acts like a detective. And by the way, I like the experiment that Logan had them do.
Yeah. Where
the kids can talk and Lori, you can't say anything, and she couldn't even last a minute.
Yeah. This is where she reminded me of my mom. I'm like, yeah, my mom would totally feel this right here if we did that. She doesn't watch the podcast when we're talking about shows because she doesn't watch the show, so I'm not worried about her hearing about this. So don't make this a clip. Don't make this a clip and post it. Don't do that.
48 minutes in. Gotcha.
But I thought it was a good exercise because Lori needed to hear it.
Yeah.
Because that's the same energy she's giving dates, and what guy wants to be around that?
Right. But that's why they knew it. That's why her kids have been very vocal as to what they think is going to happen on these dates. By the way, Dina says she's telling your mama on you.
No, she's not. She don't know her.
Elson says mom catching strays on the brown.
I can get away with it because she doesn't listen. It's totally fine.
So she gets a call with. She puts on all this makeup, gets ready for a FaceTime call with Felton, and invites him to her birthday party. What'd you think of this? Because I think this call was very telling.
It was very telling to me because I don't know about you, but to me it seemed like Felton's not interested. Mm-hmm. He didn't really care. Like he didn't get that excited about this is her birthday. Yes, I'll be there. There's nothing. If a guy really likes you, he's gonna do it. Now, what I don't like that Felton does when Logan was looking at her text messages to Felton, where he says, "Babe, I miss you." Why would you say that to somebody?
Yeah.
If you don't really feel an emotional connection, that's wrong.
He may like the attention. He just doesn't like her. He likes her attention, right? And
true.
Damn, Dina. Says Felton is Elton John and George Clinton's baby.
Wow. Wow.
So she goes on another date, right? Mm-hmm. So again, she's invited him to the birthday party. Felton's the birthday party. But she goes on a date with Martin. And Martin, I immediately knew this was not going to be a match. But opposites do attract, right? So you think it could have worked?
I think it could have worked. Now, the one thing I had a question about Martin is he has 3 kids but never been married. My question is, how many baby mamas? I think it's fair to ask a guy that question, just like guys ask women that question. I think it's fair.
Women asked that question. She didn't, because she didn't care.
Yeah. But I think Martin is very different than Lori. And I think Logan called this out, that maybe Lori needs somebody that's a little bit different than her. She can't be rich Auntie Lori all the time and date a guy in the spotlight. So actually, I liked Martin. I thought he was a good dude. I thought he handled her questions fine. When she's like, where are you at in your life right now? He says, well, I'm here. Let's focus on that. I liked Martin.
I did too. Hey, a lot of people like Martin, man. Like Cassie says, Martin was very, very, very calm. Yeah. I did kind of like the way he did bring a sense of calm to her, but she just felt like she's like, I'm the star. Again.
Right.
It's them damn glasses. Take the glasses off, and you probably would have had a real conversation, but she's never going to do that. Here, Mr. Deacon, who's willing to accept your cussing, and you can't give this man the time of the day until he invited himself to her birthday party. And she even admitted she accidentally brought it up because she's like, I was so excited about it, I talked to him, he invited himself. Well, that's what you get.
Well, and that's the thing I didn't understand, because I don't understand the people that go to church. But won't date somebody from the church. So he's going to be an ordained deacon. So that means he really believes in the stuff that you're going to church for on Sundays, maybe Wednesdays. He's into it. Why would you not date that person? And she says, well, I like to cuss a little, and you have that nightlife. Well, then you're fake Christian. And that's okay. Be a fake Christian. But don't make it sound like he's bad because he's all in and you like to cuss a little. I didn't like that about her. But when he showed up to her birthday party, I was like, look at this dude with the glasses, the shirt. I mean, I thought Martin had style.
Yeah. He just seemed out of place at the birthday party.
Well, he did, but here's the deal. You don't invite somebody on a second date to your birthday party when you're like, oh, true. And Martin invited himself. This is his fault.
Yes.
And so I think about when you came to my crawfish boil, the girlfriend I had at the time, I made sure she invited other friends.
Very clear definition.
Yeah, the girlfriend I had at the time, I made sure she had other friends
What's her
there because I'm not going to say her name on the show.
I know.
But I wanted to make sure she had other people there because I don't think it's fair to say, hey, you come by yourself and be around all this attention that I'm going to get, and you have to maneuver through that. And I think that's what Martin did. He invited himself to that, so that's on him. But that Lori should have said, hey, no, this is probably not the best place for you to come. But let's go do a second deal, because he wanted one-on-one time. He wanted a little bit more attention from Lori, and he wasn't going to get that.
By the way, Messi and Zessie says, Terrell says he's not that drunk. No names.
This
I
one
when I
glass.
said, by the way, when I said what's her name, you know, when people go like, yo, what's his name? That wasn't asking.
I'm not going to
question.
slip up. This is my first drink. Yeah, sorry, it's not going to happen.
Terrell's got high tolerance. It's okay. I know it didn't seem like it on some of our past pods, but it's because you don't know what he was doing before. By the way, Faisy says he brought a beautiful bouquet. I missed that.
He did. He bought a bouquet, and he bought one of the candles they made
Right.
at the candle date. I thought that was great.
Yeah. Mrs. Ward says Martin was trying to like her. It was not sincere. You brought up the thing about the intimate setting. I thought he meant as another time. You took it as he meant in that moment. There's no way to take her away. It's her birthday party. She's throwing it for herself. She's got to be there to talk to everybody. Otherwise, they're going to be like, where's the, okay, let's leave, right?
You're right, but I think Martin was thinking that if she shows him a lot of attention at her birthday party, that shows that she likes him.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, you don't go to someone's birthday party and expect them to give you, even if you're in a relationship for 5 years, and all her friends show up to a birthday party, she's not going to be around you that whole time.
Right.
You got to be okay with that.
You got to know how to go ahead and maneuver your own, sit your ass in the corner and be fine, or, conversate with a couple other people.
Right.
Conversate. I figured I'd bring that up just for you. Yeah, I can tell the Browns kicked in. You didn't even pick that one up.
No, I heard it. I'd let it go.
All right. So Felton didn't show up
Right.
for the birthday party. So he FaceTimes Lori and invites her on a date and says something that irked the crap out of me. And I know I can't be the only one. He goes, I'll even pick you up.
Like that's a bonus.
Yeah. Yo, when my daughter starts dating when she's 25, right? If a man says, I'll even pick you up, I'm like, hang up the damn phone. Hang up the damn phone. And he better not show up over here.
Because she's still living with you at 25. Because you're like Lisa, I guess.
By the way, Cassie says a date, that was a hangout. Because he says he's taking out for dinner for her birthday. Wow.
Yeah. I'm sorry. If you take me, add this to the list, Dina. If you take me on my birthday to a place to get pizza, yeah, we are just friends. You don't like me like that. Don't call me and tell me you're going to pick me up and take me out to get pizza for my birthday.
Yeah.
Don't even do that. So add pizza to the list.
Matter of fact, just go on the Domino's app and send me one.
Exactly. Give me a gift card to Pizza Hut. I'll take that. Don't waste my time. Tell me, Terrell, what are you doing Friday night? I want to take you out for your birthday. I'm going to take you to this little pizza spot. Let me stop you right there. No,
Even though,
not.
I will say, matter of fact, we're going to go to a pizza spot in when we go to Charleston. I know we're back in Charleston in March for the wedding, but yeah.
I don't mind going to pizza spot, but you're not like Terrell for your birthday. You're like, hey, Terrell, I know I didn't see
I don't
you
know.
for
After
Christmas.
you try this pizza, you
so
might be like, you know what?
I'm going to take you to a pizza spot for Christmas. I'd be like, no, Yanni, we're going to get steaks. Because remember where I took you when we were in Charleston?
Yeah.
Steaks. I took you for a good steak to your favorite place.
See?
You are not about to take me to a pizza place in Charleston. I don't give a damn.
Hey, Chocolate Suda knows this. Terrell needs steak.
Exactly.
Look, Lori's like Anise when she met Willie. Lori's like that with Felton because she had no problem with him wearing a white T-shirt. She's fine with that. She was fine with his $19.99 Amazon watch because she thought
Because it has a vibe.
Yo,
It's a vibe.
I love it. He was like, "Oh no, Amazon, $19.99."
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, I went looking it up too, just to make sure.
Yeah. It's a vibe.
But she was asking a lot of questions, and
Right.
Felton was dodging them left and right. And I like how she kind of like stopped him and like, "Hold up, no, answer this question." And he goes, "Okay, here's where you sit. It's called the friend zone."
Yeah. Well, but I think that's also her bad because if you're asking a guy these questions about what are you looking for? Do you want to get married again? And he's not reciprocating or asking you the same question. He's not into you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Period. And Lori, you should have figured that out. You should have picked up the vibe that he's not interested. He didn't like it. So I don't understand how it was gone this long that you thought you had a shot with Felton. Felton doesn't want you.
Yeah.
But at least now she has her closure and she knows.
Yeah. Now it's done. All right. So let's go. We got 2 more to get through here real quick because Pam, this is going to be real quick because her third date was with Dwight, right?
Yep.
They have a lot in common. So much so that Pam put her cards on the table and said, "I want to work for you."
I thought that was really weird, personally.
So did he.
I thought that was really weird because she made him seem like the Matt from the movie I Want to Be With You.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be the new king and I want to be with you on this journey. No. I'm sorry. I just didn't get that. All they have in common is that they're both 70.
Yeah.
That's it. There's nothing else they have in common beyond that. They're both 70. So that's it. And he talks about his business that he does. And she's just like, yeah, I want to work for you. Now, I think this is great because they don't have a connection. And I think that Dwight understood that. But her quirky personality could probably be great for the tours. So I think this is a positive thing. But there's zero they have in common beyond that.
Even though it did feel like when she was talking to Zoe, it seems like she kind of liked Dwight a little bit, liked him more than the other guys at least. And then she says, worst case scenario, they'll be really great friends and come to find out they're not each other's type. Great business opportunity. So they took that. He's like, look, she'll get the older white women that I need on this tour to make this business successful. And she'll be able to say the things I can't. Let's do it.
Yeah. And apparently I was surprised in this dates. I was like, oh, wow. So Pam likes a little bit of coffee in her expired cream. That's great.
Why would you say it's expired? Oh my God. Moving on. What is wrong with
sorry. Powdered milk.
you? You leave Nito alone, okay? I grew up on Nito. I like that. Look, we get to meet Greg, right? Messy and Zesty says that brown liquor hitting for real. Oh my God.
Oh goodness.
Something's wrong with this guy.
I'm sorry.
Yes. Tehu, yes. Terrell's a whole mess. Dear God.
Oh goodness.
Aisha says, by the way, that powdered milk is worse. By the way, Dorica has a great point. Says, I think Pam is the type to end up dating him after a while. It could be. Or they just not date. They just, they...
I don't think Dwight would do it. I don't think Dwight would do it. I just don't see it. I think Dwight just sees something different. He sees a friendship connection. They can be business partners if
But
that's
that's
the case.
what she needs. She's not looking for the love of her life. She's 70.
Right.
She's like, she needs friendship because she has no friends. And that's part of what it is,
Companionship.
too, right? So...
And I think that's exactly what they can provide for each other. And I think them just being friends is perfect.
By the way, D. Michelle says that's the D hitting you, Terrell.
Cheers.
Now, Kessie brings up a point as we get ready to go to Greg. Says, why was Greg introduced so late? Was he just too boring? I don't think he was boring. Do you? Okay, well, when we get to the second date, we'll get there in a second. But let's start from the beginning. We meet Greg. I like his dynamic with his sons.
I love his dynamic with his sons, to be honest. I think that, to see any dad that close with his kids at that age, I think it's great. Mm-hmm. And then his son, Ryan, to see just how technology's evolved with cerebral palsy. I mean, I was impressed just to see him talk. And I'm like, this is so great. So he seems like a really great guy. I thought he was awesome. And then to understand how he got to this point when Logan visits, about how the first marriage ended because they're so focused on Ryan, they forgot to make the marriage work, which I think is really great insight for people who are married, regardless what you have, whether you have a child with special needs or not. You still got to focus on dating each other.
Right.
But then he married someone that had a large family, and like they wound up having like a Brady Bunch kind of deal where it's like 7 kids now.
No, that was an uneven bunch. That wasn't even a Brady Bunch because she had 5, he had 2. That's very uneven right there.
Yeah, very, very uneven.
Yeah. By the way, Messy and Zesty says Greg was introduced to let us know Atlanta traffic is bad.
That's his whole purpose.
I thought Pam told us that too. But he met with Logan. Anything that came out of that meeting with Logan before his first date?
The one thing that came out of that meeting is when she asked him his physical type, and he said Penelope Cruz, Jennifer Aniston. And I love how Logan said that, when you're looking for your next partner, he should be open to the package they come in. So if you really think about it, right, I think younger daters and apparently older daters, right, you have a look you're going for. But when you think about characteristics and qualities a person has, does the package they come in matter, right? You think about women who are like, he has to be 6 foot. Well, what if he's 5'8", but he has all the qualities you're looking for?
Okay, but here's the thing. I don't think that's an easy dump on women because women always have these, very specific things, right? Generally speaking. But I think you would find more attractive women with unattractive men. We've seen that from our college years on. Then you'll see attractive men with unattractive women.
I would say that there's a small portion of people, of beautiful women with unattractive men. I think majority of the time I see someone see a beautiful woman with an unattractive man. I think he has got money. There's something that he brings to the table. Are there some women that can be gorgeous and just date an average guy that's not attractive? Sure. But if you look at the analogies they have about Jay-Z. If Jay-Z was an assistant manager at McDonald's, he would not get any of the women that he's getting or could get or has gotten while with Beyonce.
Well, stop it. But to your point, I remember when Jay-Z first came out, nobody had anything to say. And all of a sudden, it went platinum, and they're like, "Oh my God, he's so fine." I'm like, what changed? Stop
exactly. Money.
Like Lucy B says, no such thing as an ugly millionaire. Nope.
Yeah.
We've known some ugly personality millionaires too, though. So you make me. No, stop. All right. So he goes on his first date with Kelly, who, by the way, Lucy B says, "How come I'm just realizing there's a Kelly? I combined her with Pam somehow." Kelly likes sex daily, which is almost something you'd expect to hear Pam say. Probably did say it in her younger days. What'd you think of their date?
I thought,
Kelly wants it now. Every day now. She said, I'm a good catch because I want sex every day.
Yeah. I wanted she could have that same energy at 70. I'm just curious. I thought their date was great, but here's the crazy thing is the whole skiing date. Have you ever been water skiing?
No, I haven't.
Okay. If you're like prepared and you're in shape to go to water skiing, great. I've done it. It hurts if you're not in shape, especially the next day.
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking to myself, did you let Greg know that, hey, we're going to meet here and we're going water skiing? Or was this all just part of the editing where they make it seem like it's a surprise to him? Because she's been doing this her whole life. Her whole family's been doing this.
Yeah, all up on one
Greg
leg.
Greg couldn't even get up on the skis. He had to use the equivalent of training wheels to try to even stand, and he could barely do that.
She said, you want to get on the boom? He's like, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
Which is what I would have said. The hell is that? Is there going to be a bike attached to it? What is this?
Yeah. She gave him the training wheels, and he still struggled. So, I mean, it's a great date if he's, like, in good shape and could do that. But, man, I wonder how he felt the next day.
Yeah, everybody's saying he was hurting. Poor Greg. Greg was brave AF for doing that. Yo, Greg's body hurt after that date. Yeah, Greg was in pain. Greg was on icy hot the next day because that was definitely terrible. And especially in a lake. I'm not doing it in the lake. If we're in the ocean, fine. I'm not doing it in the lake. I don't know what's at the bottom of that lake. I can't see down at the bottom. I'm good. We're fine.
You can't see down at the bottom?
Sure can't.
That's why.
I don't know what's down there. And we don't know what lake they were. If they were in Lake Lanier, you definitely wouldn't want to do it there. So he doesn't, he never asked her about a second date, right? And it's kind of found out she's an hour and a half away. She's in Sandy Springs, which Sandy Springs, even if you lived in the city, if you lived in the city, to get to Sandy Springs, it's going to be 45 to an hour without traffic.
Right.
With traffic? Yeah, nah. That's exactly why he was like, oh, no, I'm good. But he has a second date, and his second date is with Sherry, who I nicknamed Angelina Jolie because of, her kids.
One of the countries just picking up kids. Just as long as they're not white kids, she can just pick up Guatemala, check. Ethiopia, check. And you got to tell everybody about it. You just can't go get these random colored kids and not tell the story. You got to.
Of course. If you go to the gym and don't take a selfie, did you go to the gym?
Exactly. So if you adopt kids and they're from other countries, but you don't show it, talk about it. So this date here, I thought it had some promise when they first met. It seemed great in the beginning. And then once she said about the kids, and she has two, I adopted two, one from Guatemala and one from Ethiopia. To me, you could have just said I adopted two kids. He's not about to meet them. You're not showing pictures. If you show pictures and I see that you're white and you tell me this is your daughter, and she's black and really dark, I'd be like, how'd that happen? And then you could say, oh, well, I adopted her from Ethiopia. I get it.
That happened.
I get it. Well, I mean, that would be the question, right? I mean, I totally get it. But I feel like you don't have to say they're from Guatemala and from Ethiopia at first. That's like second date if you're going to show the pictures of the kids. But I thought everything was going well until she asked Greg about his favorite travel place. And Greg said, Montana.
Which I'm sure is a great place to go.
I'm sure. He went to Yellowstone. It's awesome. But and she was like, oh, that's great. I used to live in India. And I went to Turkey. And I went here and he, what'd you say?
Where?
Where'd you say? What was the first place you said? Turkey? I want a sandwich. Yeah, no, Greg is not.
In Madagascar, I thought that was a movie.
Greg is not for the international traveler. Sorry.
Yo, I liked her vibe, but they had nothing in common but the love of whiskey, right? And that was it. And you could tell that. By the way, a lot of people having some conversations in here. Like Nad Barak says, Montana's beautiful country, by the way. I'm sure. But
it is.
There's a thing going on here about Sandy Springs is Atlanta. No, Sandy Springs is not Atlanta. As a matter of fact, Aisha, here's why you understand why. When she said Sandy Springs, I totally understand why he's not going to go with her. Aisha says, I live a town over from Sandy Springs. It takes me 25 minutes to drive less than 8 miles.
But
Traffic
if you
is
met someone, you connected with, you're gonna let traffic be the issue. If I met someone that lived in San Antonio, I'm an hour and a half, and I drive fast. I'm a speeder. That's speeding, hour and a half. But if I like the person, why not? I don't see the big deal.
Well, that's good. Good for you.
You're almost 60. You got time. You're gonna sit in traffic. You're not a speeder. You're not in your 20s driving a Porsche. You're fine.
Oh, look. He goes, interesting thing, because he meets with Logan, and she really gets him to think more about the things that he was passing up, especially with Kelly, and this whole distance thing. Right? And he's like, maybe you're right. Maybe if things were working out, that she would want to move. I never thought to ask that. And I think he was just still pissed of swimming in Lake Lanier, thinking that he was never going to come back up, because I don't know if you've ever seen the videos of people when they're just partying on the boats in Lake Lanier, and all of a sudden the lake just goes, come here.
Yeah.
And it's the one thing black folks in Atlanta always like, nope,
Yeah.
not doing that.
Yeah.
I think he was just pissed that that's part of what it is, why he didn't even give her a chance. He's like, oh, hell no, I'm not doing this.
I think he was hurting the next day, and he's just like, yeah, if this is her thing, I can't live like this.
And she was kind of throwing it in his face, and she's laughing at him. And
Yeah.
it's just
Do
like,
you want the training wheels? Do you want the...
Oh my God. Well, he decides to reach out to her. She's already moved on. She's getting her daily sex on. So,
And she liked him. So, I mean, that's the thing, right? When you think about dating, whether you're a younger dater or a later dater, if you meet somebody and you have some chemistry,
yeah.
keep going. Why try to say, let me just see what else is out there? Because by the time you start to do all that, and then you want to circle back to that person that you realize, why did I mess that up? Well, it's too late. They found somebody else now. So you lost out.
Which, according to Messy and Zesty, absolutely true. The ladies are not waiting. And that's the thing that guys have to realize nowadays, is that women are not sitting around waiting on you, right? Like, you think, oh, I don't have to call her today. I could call her in 3 days. Somebody else is blowing her DMs up. Somebody else is hitting her up. And if it ain't you, it's somebody else.
Same could be said for the guys, though, because women have to understand, if you meet a guy that is a catch, right? And whatever you consider a catch to be, I'm not going to put my definition on it. Whatever you think a catch is,
Your list?
he's not going to be waiting around for you to decide, or for you to like, well,
Yeah.
No, if you like him, if you're not showing enough interest, he's got to move on to the person that is showing interest. And so I think for ladies and gentlemen, strike while the iron's hot. If you have a good date, plan the next one. What did you tell me about your wife? You had a great first date. What'd you do? Before that date ended,
Yep.
you lined up another one. If he doesn't line up another date, well, he don't like you.
Hey,
Fine.
every date I had, we set the next one. I did not let that date end, let it get out my sight without setting up the next one. And I made sure it was close. I'm not giving anybody else a chance to slide it. So, yeah.
Yeah, nope, don't wait. I will say with, is it Messy and Zesty?
Messy and
When
Zesty,
she says,
Oh, sorry.
Terrell, so don't wait. No, don't wait. If you like a guy, tell him and move on.
Yeah.
Don't be like Lori and like somebody forever and like their vibe and don't know if they like you or not. Vibe.
Hey, going back to some of these before we get out of here. Dina said earlier, I went to a classmate's funeral yesterday and they had the Cowboys logo on his program. That's how, when somebody said in the chat earlier, Cowboys have fans? No, they have fanatics. And yeah, I'm definitely not surprised by that at all. Remember the whole conversation about eating off someone's plate? And that's how Jackie staked her claim? Leah says, I only eat off the plate of my lovers or partners. Messy and Zesty said, eating off the plate is innuendo.
Is it?
And Robin G says, Terrell, you let women eat off your plate that you're not dating? / ...
Yeah, I like to share. If I'm out with friends, it's like, you get that, I'm going to get this, and we can kind of mix and match and share. What's the big deal?
I don't know where you been.
Now I'm not gonna feed her off my fork,
Yeah, but I'm saying,
and we're not dating. That's different. But we can easily, hey, I was thinking about getting the sea bass, cut a little piece of that, put that on my plate, and I'll give you some of the fillet,
Yeah.
and we can share. But I'm not gonna like feed you off my fork. That's different.
Okay, I'm about to say because that's. Speaking of Jackie, Kessie asked, "How is she always in the neighborhood?" Because she knew when they were filming.
Yeah,
There's
she
no-
wanted to be seen.
Think about the FaceTimes. Willie was dressed to a T. He had his fedora on. Felton had his fedora on. They were already camera ready, makeup on, everything, because they knew they were going to be on camera. You know when you're filming.
Right.
It's not a surprise. When they show up and act like, "Oh, what are you doing here?" Stop it. You knew.
Oh, what's
coming.
all these cameras? My goodness. What do you do? I just got back from the booty salon. I just thought I'd stop by. I was in the neighborhood.
Yeah. Exactly. By the way, Robin says, hope you do a podcast about your subscribers later daters, because y'all know me. I have a story about a 60-year-old man whose interests I have overpeaked. Hey, that can be a great random conversation. Hey, Robin, all you got to do is say the word. Let's do it.
Yes.
All you got to do is say the word. And by the way, Terrell, when you told me not to do the clips, Messy and Zesty wanted to let you know that we can put out clips too.
That's great. My mom doesn't follow y'all, so that's fine. Let's put all the clips you want. She's almost 80. She doesn't know how to find all this stuff. Not worried about it.
You know what she does know how to do? Like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications, please. By the way, I do have to say this. Thank you, Happy Gardener. Can we give a round of applause to First Lady Michelle Obama for producing some great programming? Well done. Hashtag love the Obamas. Yet this was done great. Terrell actually liked this, right?
Yeah.
You loved the way this show was done.
It was done very well, and I hope that they do another season, and it's just as brief as these 8 episodes. Now, if it gets popular, then they're going to start doing what we see on Lifetime, these other ones where it's a whole lot of drag out. Then they got the reunion and all this other stuff. I thought this was great. So I'm looking forward to, if they do another season, I will recap that one. We will do it.
You know, what would be crazy if they did a reunion and you had Mrs. Obama up there doing it. They wouldn't get through it because
Michelle will call them out on their BS. Michelle will come out on their BS.
She would. I thought this was great. I'm glad we did it. Thank you for suggesting it. So, okay, we know what we have. Mavs is coming right back. We know Ready to Love Philly is coming February 7th. And then on the 14th, Love is Blind. And we've got some random conversations on the way. Appreciate you guys. Again, do us a favor. Hit that like button. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications so you know when we're on. Trace, note that is Bob Marley, not Lenny. That's a Robert Nesta Marley.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm Yanni Rude.
And I'm just Terrell.
Make sure you follow us at Yanni Rude, at Just Terrell, and at the RGRT Pod.
Yeah, send us some of your random thoughts, some of the bullshit you find on your net. We'll talk about it on this show.
It's the Regular Guys Random Thoughts Podcast.
Cheers.
Cheers.